this is related to something we talked about before. The Department of Justice got this dude, right? His name was Xu Yanjun.
Yes.
He was the deputy division director in the MSS, so the Ministry of State Security.
So that's like the CIA of China.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And what was happening is that this guy was all about getting aerospace and satellite technology.
Yes.
They got him, chucked him in jail for 20 years in federal prison, right?
Yeah.
So it's like catching a big spy, basically. Right?
Where did they extradite him from? They got him to meet. There's quite a story behind him.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I guess they got him to meet like somebody that was posing as another Chinese spy.
Yes.
But it was actually FBI or something.
Yeah, but they didn't meet them in the US. They met him somewhere else. And then
yeah.
I can't remember the story, but it's pretty fascinating if you like spycraft.
Cool. Yeah, it's good spycraft stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so they got him, right? Big catch.
Yeah.
Right? But the follow-up to this is the next picture. Mm-hmm. They got the guy under him too.
One of them,
which is very big because this guy was working his way up through the ranks, okay? Mm-hmm. This dude here, he looks quite tall, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Ji Chaochun. He was just, I guess he was just convicted of one count of conspiracy to act as an agent of a foreign government. So that's when you're in America and you're acting on behalf of a foreign government, whether it's whatever, I don't know, propaganda or spying or doing whatever, but you don't disclose it to the U.S. government. You don't say, hey, I'm here on behalf of blah, 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 right?
Well, he was just a college student.
Well, I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
And also, one count of acting as an agent of the People's Republic of China without first notifying the Attorney General. Right. And one count of making a material false statement to the U.S. Army, U.S. District. So think about this. This guy started in the U.S. Armed Forces, right?
This guy didn't. He's a college student.
He was in the U.S. Armed Forces?
Yeah, no, he joined the reserve. He joined the reserve program, but he was first a college student.
Yes.
And he was approached during there. Like, that's the whole thing is like, remember this whole idea of using foreign students as a resource?
Yeah.
This is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
It is the example of that because he came to study. Where was he? Which college was he in?
He was in, I don't want to screw this up. The first guy was in Southern District of Ohio. This guy was enlisted in the U.S. Army Reserves under the Military Accessions to Vital and National Interest Program. Mm-hmm. This is in Chicago.
Yeah, it's an ex-Chicago student, a college student is what he was.
Yes. Anyway, so the idea was that this guy that you saw before him, he was working with this dude, right?
Yeah.
And he was basically getting him to find out who was working in the U.S. government, like tied stuff, so that they could find Chinese people that had moved to the U.S. to work in these special government contracts in the U.S. and then, leak out information from them. Roosevelt-class aircraft carriers were the priority, I believe.
Yeah, that's one of the things that he said he could do, because he basically was studying. He was targeted by agents with China's MSS shortly before coming to Chicago in 2013. So that's before he even came to China.
I know. He was already a spy.
So he was already like, they find out, oh, you're going to go study in America. Yep. Here's the thing, like, how about you help us out? Okay?
It was a long game, dude.
So, I mean, and he went to study electrical engineering at IIT, a small private school just Chicago. East of Dan Ryan Expressway, blah, 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 which had forged educational ties with Chinese universities and colleges. So it's exactly what we've been talking about. That's why it ties in. So after traveling back to China during winter break, he was wined and dined by MSS handlers and eventually given a top-secret contract where he swore an oath of allegiance to the agency's cause, agreeing to devote the rest of his life to state security.
By entering the state of another country.
Yeah, but the thing is, he took a photo of his contract with the MSS, which was kind of dumb of him.
Oh, I mean, he screwed up. My favorite part of this, though, is listen to this.
Yeah.
He also explained that once he obtained his U.S. citizenship and security clearance through the Mavni program, right?
Yeah.
He would seek a job at the CIA, FBI, or NASA.
Yes.
So he was going to go. They groomed him to go all the way up.
Yeah, and the problem is, it's just how easy it is for this kind of these loopholes to be exploited. Yeah. Okay, so he comes over to study. He does a good job studying. He's currently an agent already because he's agreed to and signed contracts with the MSS. He started to find out the information about scientists and people in the military who were of Chinese heritage, so either Taiwanese or Chinese, like Chinese Americans,
and
Taiwanese Americans.
That info to his handler.
And he sent that information of these specific individuals that he thought could be compromised
Yeah.
to his handlers.
Hey, these are good marks. You know,
Yeah, it's like
that.
this guy looks good, this guy looks good. Let's see, what else did he do? He also said that he would be able to, because he enrolled in this military reservist program here in America, where that means that you become like a reservist military dude, and that gives you certain clearance to go to certain places.
Yeah.
And so he was saying he would be able to use his military clearance to take photos of aircraft carriers and things to send him back to his handlers and all that kind of nonsense, which is dumb. And he sent his attachments through his email saying they were term papers, but it was the information about all these scientists and people working in the aerospace industry or whatever that should be targeted, right?
Yeah.
These programs that the Chinese government enacts are real, and they are a real threat.
Yeah.
At the same time, we shouldn't be trying to profile Chinese students and say, oh, shit, there's a spy over there.
No.
Don't do anything like that. But at the same time, when you've got a Chinese student coming from China to study in
Very
a specific thing,
things.
and they start asking very specific questions, they should probably be looked into a little bit.
G intended to perform cybersecurity work at one of those agencies, so he would have access to all their databases, including databases that can contain scientific research. When you have those intentions, that's when you look into someone. Right? That's when you figure this out.
Guy's fresh off the boat, and he's studying in college, and
trying to get into the national interest program.
And he starts asking you if you know anyone in the military security or whatever the case might be in national security, then maybe you should be taking that as a red flag.
Yes.
Because we know now officially that the Chinese government officially does this kind of thing and has these kind of programs. So, this is important to keep track of.
So anyway, he was sentenced, I believe the other
8
day.
years.
8 years, a couple days ago, to 8 years. So that's another catch. And it's just another thing that you need to, that law enforcement needs to pay attention to.
I mean, I just don't like how blasé a lot of this stuff is. And it's easy to be blasé because when you're in America, I get it, right? I get it. I'm a foreigner here. I get treated like I'm just like anybody else. Yeah. Nobody treats me any differently.
No.
I have a driver's license just like anyone else that I use for my ID. It doesn't say foreigner on it.
Sometimes, we're in the rural sticks of Pennsylvania. People are like, oh, that's an interesting accent.
Yeah, they might.
From.
Sure, that's whatever. But, you've got bloody Mennonites and whatever the hell else out here with weird accents. So it doesn't matter.
That's very true.
Like
we're
an
trying
Amish
to figure
dude.
this out. We have, not to give away their names or anything, but we have some neighbors that are ex-Mennonites.
Yes.
They're not Mennonites anymore, but they literally sound like they're German. Now, I understand Amish people speak German, right? Yeah. But these are Mennonites, and they speak English as their predominant language, but they have like a German accent.
Yeah, it's really weird.
We're trying to figure it out without being rude.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, the thing is, you think that like, okay, everything's cool. You just carry on and you can do whatever you want. But I mean, just think of the reverse, right? Just imagine, okay, when we were in China, we're like, hey, I'm studying in a Chinese university now. Let me contact the CIA and say, hey, you know what? I'm in China. I want to spy. I'm just going to work my way up the ranks, Like, let me get
myself into the government programs and I'll become a citizen of China.
Which isn't possible, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
If you're a Chinese American.
The literal hypocrisy of all this.
It's
like you couldn't even have the same opportunity.
Yeah, you couldn't. But it's just dumb to do something like that.
Yeah.
I would never even attempt to do something like that. Like, why even... if you're going to treat a country like your enemy, why even try to go live there and study there and whatnot? Like, just don't.
Yeah.